is ZeBirdBrain, and today we are talking about rigging. So today's video is going to be a bunch of rigging tips and tricks that I've kind of gathered with the years. So I thought I would just dump them all into this video. So first, when I do rigging, I kind of morph my interface into rigging mode. I'm going to take my playback toolbar and I'm going to right click on it and I'm going to remove it. So no more playback. It's gone. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my timeline, brace yourself. I'm going to take it, drag it, and I'm going to put it here. Okay? But like, so that it takes the whole side of the screen. Now bear with me, it'll be useful. It means that your timeline will be on the side. What that means is that instead of scrolling forever, if I open my rig a bunch of time, or if I click on my chin, for example, and I deep dive into my rig, I'll be able to see more layers here. Though, as you can see now, it's not very easy to read. This is because there's a preference I need to go activate. So I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to go into Edit, Preferences. And the preferences that are really good for rigging is to have your peg always be separate. Always work in stop motion keyframe. And that's a little favorite of mine. I go in my colors and I go into my timeline, take the stop motion keyframe color and I set it to blue because I hate the color red. It burns my eyes in this. So I take a nice little bright blue and that's what I use instead. But then what you're gonna go do is go to advanced. You need your advanced display, very important. And then if you go to timeline, you're gonna see there's a thing called reduce indentation. When you click on this, you're gonna see when I press on OK, there you go. Now all the things are kind of closer together. And when I do my rigging, you can show the parameters, but if you want, you can also go into the bottom here and hide them. Sometimes when you rig, it is easier to work like that because you don't need to see a long timeline. You just need to see a tall timeline when you do rigging. And usually, when you're rigging, the character is not doing a pose, so it's just going to be like, standing around in a way. I think it's easier to work like that. Then here on the side, what are the things that I have? I have my tool properties and my node view, of course, and I have my colors. And another view that I like to get is my layer properties. I like to use the layer properties window a lot, and it needs to be separated from my node view because when I go on a renaming rampage, I like to be able to just click on my layer and then go change the name right now. I don't want to have to open anything, any kind of bullshit like that and go write it. No, I just click on my peg or on whatever and I just rename it. It's there. And at the same time, it allows you to see what's going on with whatever that thing is. Okay, so layer properties, I put it near my tool properties so that I can have my node view and my my layer properties active at the same time. Pretty great. So just make yourself at home. If there's icons you don't need, just don't put them there. And by the way, since we are reducing the size of the camera here, sometimes you might want to take some things and put them on the side. That is totally fine. The other thing that is useful to do when you do your rigs is get these amazing scripts. So to get them, I'm gonna get my scripting toolbar. So if you right click in the void here and you get your scripting toolbar, you're gonna get 2F. Click on this one with the arrow and it's gonna take you to this lovely little script manager. Here are 4 scripts that are gonna be very useful for your rig. The first one is called copy and paste pivots. It is right there. So copy and paste pivots, it will allow you to copy and paste the pivot points of your pegs without having to kind of go into like the layer properties and copy paste the pivot information, which takes forever. You can just take these 2 little scripts. So you're gonna click on this one, bring it here, click on the other one, bring it here, and then you're gonna apply. And here I have these 2 new icons. I'm gonna show you how to use them. It's super easy. I'm gonna press OK. If you see here, let's say that this pivot point was not in the right spot, but this one has it. So I have my strand full peg and here I have my strand peg. If I want to get the same pivot point as this one, of course you can go into here and copy paste this information, but life is too short for me to do that. So you can also just take this pivot information, click on copy, and then if I go on the next peg and I press on paste, it's gonna paste a pivot. It's amazing. Oh my god, so fast. And the 2 other scripts I want to show you is if you go here into the script manager, it's called find and replace node names. So you just take this one and you bring it here. And then there's find and replace palette color names. You can bring it here. So these are useful scripts that are gonna find and replace names in either your node view or your palettes. I'm gonna show you here. Let's say that for this selection, instead of being called strand, I want it to be called bird. I can go get my find and replace node names script. Here you have find this and replace it with whatever you're gonna write here. So I'm gonna write bird, and then here we go. It's going to replace it. It's amazing. And then the other one is find and replace color names. It's kind of the same, but it's for your color palette. The only downside with this one is that you cannot use a selection yet, so it will be to change everything. So let's say instead of F underscore, I want something else. I could go here. Instead of having F underscore, if I want it to be Z underscore, you can choose this, and then it's gonna change all my F for Z. I would like it to be just on a selection, but it's not there yet. At least it's useful for a bunch of things. This script was made because in some production you need to write the name of the character in front of every palette. So that would mean if you want to change it to something else, then it would change the name of all the palettes. Okay, so that's what this little script does. Last tips is try to organize your palette, but I'm gonna make a video all about it in the future. But I thought I would at least show you. You can use these kind of colors that you're never gonna use just to separate your colors, and it really helps. So I hope this was helpful, and I'll see you again in another week for another video. Yay!